there, it's Keren Baker back with another project idea for Tonic Craft Kit number 16. It's a fabulous kit with a whole ton of dies and stamps and products, and today I'm just showing you two really easy ideas. One of them is this little, it could either be a gift topper for the top of a box or a table decoration, and I've created two different types. You can see this one here. This is more like a wedding. I know it's harder to see. Let me show you like that. There you go. So it's got a little dangling rose that's double-sided with a heart. There we go. And as you can see, going round, it's the same, and you've got birds on the front and the back. So I'm going to show you how to make those, and also just talk about useful ways of using leftovers. So let's get started. In the kit, you have got a whole load of dies, sorry about the glare, to create some borders, corners. You've got different heart shapes, you've got a beautiful set of stamps, and you've got, as usual, a whole lot of lovely cardstock and speciality papers. Now I'm just using the pearlescent and the grey coloured card and some extra white cardstock. And to make the basic shape, I'm just using these three dies, which nest inside each other. So you would just pop them in. I do use the three of these together, but I just make sure I tape them so I know they're not going to move and cross over and damage the dies in my die cutting machine. So I've put those through my Tonic Tangerine, and I've created 4 of the die cuts in the white cardstock, and that will make one of these little table decorations. Okay, so we've got our 4. What I've done is I've put 2 together to start off with, and all you're going to do is, once you've got your die cut, that's how it's going to look. Now the first thing I want to do is to fold it in half. Really, really simple. Just bend this between your fingers like this, and then match up the edges. And once you've got the edges matched, press down and work your way down, making sure that you've got a nice central fold, and you might have to give it a little bit of a squeeze here at the bottom. So I've got my folded piece. Now what you're going to want to do is just trim off this little V part at the bottom. So I'm just going to trim this. If you don't trim that, it's actually quite challenging to stand up. So I've stuck 2 pieces together, and the reason that I've done 4 and not just tried to sort of stick 2 together at the join like that is it's not really very secure. This is a much stronger way of putting it together. So we've got our 2 together, and what you'll also get in the kit is my favourite glue, which is the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. Now all you're going to have to do is just dab some little bits, okay, like this, all around the edges. If you've got some double-sided adhesive, that's actually a really nice, quick and easy way of doing that, which you would use when you were cutting out your dies. So we're going to get the next one, and we're going to match it up. Now what I should have done ideally before this was actually put the little hanging element in. So I'll just put this together. Just try and make sure that you've got the edges here lined up together. That's why using the Nouveau adhesive is so good, because you do get a little bit of movement, so you've got time to move it before it's actually dried. So we've got 3 of them together. Just press that one down there. Okay, so we've got 1 more to put in. Now if I move on to the little hanging element, I've cut out some of the roses. Now these really usefully are actually the mirror images of each other. There we go. So if you cut out 2 in the peach and 2 in the white, you'll end up with them being able to perfectly match. So when I line them up, if I line them up correctly, like that, you're going to have the same both ways. So no having to flip your die cut pieces over. So that's really handy. And all I've done is I've put a piece of thread, ordinary embroidery thread. I mean, if you want to have one that matches the colour of your projects, that's going to look really pretty as well. I chose white so it wasn't so obvious and didn't draw attention to the fact that there was a string there. So I've used some of the Tonic double-sided tape. So I'll just take that off. And because I trapped it underneath before I'm going to line these up, it means I'm not having to fiddle around trying to keep the thread straight. So just match these up here like this. Okay, so I've just got my little dangling rose. Obviously you could put anything in there. You know, if you were doing a Christmas one and you wanted to put a snowflake, or you wanted to put one of the little birds that I've created into a robin, you could do that too. And then all we're going to have to do is literally just wind it round. You can actually stick it. So this little bit here, you could actually adhere it to there, or you can just wind your thread round like that. When you've got it at the height that you want, give it a little pull if you want it up a little bit further. And then you can just secure it with a bit of glue or double-sided tape, and you've got that ready. So what I'll do is just pop the last one in. So I'll just put a little bit of glue all around. And I know I'm not doing it very carefully. I'm sure yours will be beautiful because you'll take the time to glue it properly. Obviously, the more time you spend gluing this, the more robust your final project's going to be. So it's well worth taking the time. And then we're going to pop the final piece on, match up one side, and then you can close the gap with the other. Right, I could do a little bit more time really to let my glue dry. I'll just keep pressing, and it will all come together. And once the glue is dried, you'll find that you've got a nice solid piece that you can then go on to the next stage with. Right, I shall wait for it to dry and then we'll go on to the next bit. Okay, so the glue has dried now, and so you can see that we've got our little elements all together. Now, if you wanted to create this as a card, it would make a really pretty card if you cut out the aperture in the middle on a base piece and then put this on. It would just stick up like this and would look really, really pretty. So there are lots of things that you can do with this. Obviously now we just want to finish the card. So what I would do next, the inner heart that you've used to cut out, obviously you're going to be left with pieces like this. So I've used one of those, and one of the other hearts in the kit, which is a smaller one which nests inside, I've used those and I've cut out those to create my base, and I've just added a little bit of white gel pen all around the outside to just accentuate that, to give a little bit of detail. So I've got that now. All we're going to want to do now is place that on our base, and the way you would do it is just to add some more glue. Because you've cut off the little bottom triangle, it means that you've got a flat base to work with, and just dot a little bit of glue on the inner half. You don't need to glue it the whole way. There we go. And then you're just going to position it over. And if you look at it symmetrically, you're just going to want sort of a square on this little bit here. So you can see that you've kind of got it in place. And if you look down while you're actually gluing it and you press where my finger is going there, you'll end up with it more or less in the right place. So you would just leave that to dry. So I'm just going to put that to one side and then just talk about the other elements. Now for the top, you can see here that I've added a little heart. Now those hearts actually come out of the middle of the bird. So you've got these two little birds here, which is a really pretty die, and I've just die cut them out of the pearlescent card that you get in the kit. And obviously that little heart that's come out the middle. So I've used the little hearts to actually add, you see there, on the inside and on the back. I mean, you could put them wherever you like, but then all we need to do is put the birds in, and the birds actually give it a little bit more strength as well. Now let's see if the glue is going to allow me to work with it. So what I do, just pop a little bit of glue. This glue is lovely and strong, so you know you're going to get a good result once it's dried. And all I'm going to do is just put the edges, I've got little dots as part of the design, and I'm just literally linking the bottom feather up to the second dot, so I've got somewhere that I can aim for on both sides so I know it matches. Right, that side's stuck, so let's make sure we get this side in place. There we go. Okay, so that's that. So our birds, and obviously you can put them either side, you could put them around all four edges. How you decorate is entirely up to you. You just put my little roses, there we go. So that's the basic idea. Then obviously, you know, with this one you can add, I've actually used some of the elements that have come in the kit. So this little rose water Nouveau drops I've used on some, and you can see there, see if I can, yeah, you can just about see. I've just used those to accentuate the design in the die. And then with this Christmassy one, let me just move those out the way. I have used the same birds, but I've actually cut off part of them. So you can see here, I've actually just cut down. Once I've cut them out, I've just trimmed down to make it more of a bird shape, and then cut them out of red as well, and then just trimmed that little section off to make them look more like robins. So that's a really fun and easy way of using the kit. And the other idea I had was when I was die cutting, I try and look at the leftover bits. So when I put my first die onto here, onto the piece of cardstock, I left it off and I thought, actually, if I put the next one at a fairly carefully placed angle, so it's roughly this a good distance and it matches up, what that creates then is a really nice effect that from this angle you wouldn't really know it was birds. So it's a way of using up your leftovers in a really intentional way. And this little key is part of the kit as well. I've just added a little bit of twine. So just remember, when you're doing your die cutting, don't waste the bits that are left over. Try and incorporate them to create new designs for, that could be for a new home, little gift card, all sorts of things. So I hope you've enjoyed this really quick and easy look. And these projects, I hope that you'll have a go with them. When you get your kit, we always love to see what you've done with your kit. So don't forget to go onto the Tonic Facebook group and tag Tonic, and some of the DT members will come and we'll have a look. And you know, we love to see, because we get inspired by you as well. And don't forget to check out the YouTube channel, and if you've got any questions about the craft kit, there is a dedicated website and web page for those. So have fun, enjoy your kit, and I shall see you soon. Take care, bye.